Hello, I'm Michael Christensen with 2 E's and a hard T in my last name. This week I'm going to do the Fearless Writer tag. It was created by Kim Chant and Edward Gray. I think it's a great series of questions to kind of get to the heart of what we're dealing with as writers individually and get us to open up a little bit and kind of do a little soul searching. So let's get into it. Number 1, lies. What is the biggest fallacy you're telling yourself with writing/being a writer? I think my big fallacy is that I will be a good enough writer to get published by a big company and get a lot of promotion, and maybe even get like an adaptation set up really, really quickly. That's like 3 or 4 fallacies all tied into one. I tell myself, and I tell my family and friends and people that I meet on the street, that I don't measure success in publishing by that level. I'm not expecting to be a Rick Riordan or a K.A. Applegate. But in my head, I still am fan casting movie adaptations of my work, so that fallacy, that lie, is still very much in play. Number 2, starting new. Does the first draft scare you or motivate you? Yes. I think it depends on the day. I think that I really feel good when I'm getting close to the resolution of a book. I know when I'm heading towards an ending that I think works. But early on and in the middle, it goes in peaks and valleys, whether I feel inspired by the thing I'm writing or like I'm bad at writing and I'm going to fail and everyone will hate me forever. So it kind of oscillates. Number 3, roadblock. What's the number 1 obstacle stopping yourself from writing? I think it's committing to the time that I have established and told myself and told others that I'm going to set aside for writing, and making sure that that is time that I only spend writing and not getting distracted or pulled away by other things. Question 4, reflect. How can you overcome the obstacle? These questions don't mess around. I think it comes down to time management, and I think it comes down to prioritizing things and saying, my writing time is writing time, that's what it's for, and not getting distracted or pulled away by other less important items that pop up during life, at least during the writing window. Especially since I only commit to an hour of writing every weekday during my lunch break, I think I just need to be more diligent about saying, not looking at text messages that come in, not looking at Twitter notifications, things like that. 5, perfection. How can you challenge yourself to get past the perfectionism, procrastination trap? I ask others to hold me accountable in terms of procrastination. Part of that is this channel. Part of that is my fiance Victoria, because she doesn't take any guff. If she asks me if I wrote today and I say, no, she gives me that look. She's like, well, you probably should, because I told her I was gonna. I don't want to be a liar. As for perfectionism, that's one of the big challenges and one of the big goals in 2020. It's to finish work. I've been working on the superhero novel in some form or another since 2014 initially. Granted, there was a big break in the middle there, but even when I finished the last draft at the midpoint of 2019, I took more than 6 months off from the book. I think 2020 is the year where I say, you know what? I gotta get my hands dirty, gotta get in the weeds, and gotta finish these books. 6, failure sucks. How can you grow from failure? This tag does not hold back. First of all, it helps me to know that every main character in every book that we are all writing is gonna experience failure. At least we assume so. I think that failure gives you a chance to bow out. If something is difficult and you decide to step back, as far as I'm concerned, no harm, no foul. I think the sunk cost fallacy keeps people attached longer than they should to certain projects. If you fail and you decide this is not for me, I need to step away, that is absolutely fine. But if you decide to keep going, you are making a conscious choice. You are saying, this is something I want to do. I understand that failure is part of it, and I need to accept that and keep moving. Because you've said, this is what I want. Rejection sucks. How can you learn/grow from rejection? I used to work in the entertainment industry. I worked with actors, and a big part of that was sending people out for auditions, and they would come back and it wouldn't necessarily be a good experience, or they thought they did really well and they wouldn't get the role. And part of that is just learning and internalizing that these rejections aren't personal. Because everyone who reads your material, who absorbs your art, wants it to be amazing. Contrary to what people who harass reviewers believe, contrary to the opinions of people on Twitter, reviewers do not want to hate anything. Same goes with, people who work in publishing or people who work in casting. Everyone wants you to be the answer to their problem. Everyone wants you to come in and blow them away. But they also have something in their head that they would like to see. And maybe you are exactly it. And if you're not, maybe they'll still find you interesting and novel and exciting, novel, pun not intended, and decide to work with you, not because you were what they were picturing, because of what you weren't. But sometimes if you're not what they were imagining or what they were hoping for, that is just not what they're looking for, and they will move on. And it's important to know in that moment that it's not personal. They are not turning you down because of anything you have done entirely. Partly it is because they have something they're looking for instead, whether they know what it is or not, and that is entirely not in your control. I think it's a helpful way to be respectful of their time and of their energy, to know that they want you to succeed. They hope that you will succeed with them, and if they don't, if they don't want to work with you, then they mean you no ill will. 8, create action. How do you keep moving toward your goals? As I said earlier, I have that dream, that fallacy of being published by a big company, promoted, being the next big thing, getting a full multi-movie, multi-season of television adaptation. And I know that's all incredibly unlikely, but it is possible. And if I write something, it'll be actually possible. Because right now it's not, because I haven't published anything or gotten anything ready for publishing. But if I get something ready, if I write, there is a chance that any or all of that dream could happen. Yeah, that's right. I tempt myself with greed and a need for praise. That's healthy, right? Let's examine that another time. 9, new year, new outlook. If fear wasn't holding you back, what would you be doing right now to further your writing dreams? I would write every day, and I would wake up early to do more productive stuff in the morning. I would treat it like a business, and I would make goals and decide that they are important and they're serious, and take them seriously. 10, leap of faith. What is one thing you plan to do this year, even though it scares you? Part of me wants to say get married, although getting married doesn't actually scare me. Planning a wedding, but even planning a wedding doesn't really scare me. It really is locking in the 2 books that I've been working on, finishing them both by 2020, getting them ready so that I can start going out for submission in 2021. I've got to, put my money where my mouth is and head to where the rubber meets the road. And do the writing stuff. I ran out of metaphors. Last thing I have to do is tag somebody. I am tagging BuryBadBooks and Alicia Josey. I would love to see both of their answers to these questions. Take your time with them. These are intense questions, and they really get to the heart of you. So, this is a cool exercise, but you're going to do some soul searching. If anyone else out there wants to do the tag, go ahead and do so, and just leave it in the comments. If you don't want to video the tag yourself, feel free to comment below with what your answers would be. Don't forget to subscribe, because I do more videos than just this one. I've done others besides this and more in the future. Please like the video, and also press the button that says that you like the video. Annihilate the bell with your button mashing powers. I love you, Victoria.